Right, I'm back. So, we've got an election to run through, which actually has a surprising amount of votes for the Anarchist Society. So you might actually see some more powerful anarchists, possibly enough to actually have anarchist candidates. Hello? Okay. And a war to finish. Oh my god. Not again. And they're a protectorate of the Congo. Thankfully, Congo also has decolonization researched, so. I mean, burning an obligation to lower my infamy by 10 sounds like a great idea. Fine, I'll give them some forward momentum, if only because the Anarchist Society wasn't the one that clicked. I might be able to get the Anarchists in. They didn't get that many votes in the last election. Siam's default. Okay. No real change. I mean, the Restorationists have literally next to no following. I would not be surprised with the actual number was 0. 90 people. And 10 of them are loyalists. The Independent Socialists no longer exist. The Agrarian Socialists are around, but barely exist in the first place. The aristocrat interests have no population. It is almost certainly like 4 clerks. I can see the actual number if I check. 1 clerk. 1 clerk. It shouldn't even be a clerk. Because clerks aren't supposed to be part of the available people in the interest group. Oh yeah, that's right. The left liberals have arrived really, really late into the game. Like, surprisingly late. I'm entirely unwilling to touch my wall right now. No interest in doing so. This has no effects and won't prevent my ability to build new mines or maintain the current ones. I will go for environmental protection though. Sadly, no one's actually interested. Oh, okay, I need transnational activism. For basic environmental protection and circular economy for active restoration. Circular economy is tier 9 social tech. So it's very, very far away, recycling stuff. By that point, I won't be able to deal with the subject system anymore. Because there's no way I can set up so many reductions to liberty desire that I can maintain the subjects in the first place. Right, back to the war. And I am looking upon this election with great interest. Wonder why the attraction is so high. Popularity. Oh. Hmm. Political agitation not developed? I think that's incorrect because yeah. Agricultural employment, average labor movement. More unions. I'm not actually entirely sure. Oh well. Construction's going good. I'm finally getting close to producing enough rubber to... #1 worldwide producer. By a large margin. I wonder how much of that is... Yeah, if it weren't for the synthetic rubber production, I would not have that. So it's good to have all that synthetic rubber production. And considering, I mean, it doesn't look it at the moment, but I do have actually a large surplus in peacetime. It's just that my military is insanely expensive when I turn it on, for lack of a better term. Burma capitulated. Sad. But yes. It's just that when I turn it on, it becomes incredibly expensive. But where is it? Okay, universities. I probably should build these up a bit. At least in areas with large populations. I'm so extremely annoyed at the fact that the communists are always going to have that. Must be dragging in a lot of other troops for that to be the case. Congolese Senegal, and I'm sure the Provisional Republic is American. Yep. Once again, Senegal falls apart. Predictable things happen to it. Why? Supply shortage of 5.3%. Shipping lane effectiveness. Why are shipping lanes involved? Oh, all the way over there. Yeesh. Oh, social democracy here. Okay, finally, the authority is fixed. And I can finally work on some useful stuff. Public universities. Yes. This will severely increase tech spread. Like, ludicrously so. And we'll also deal with the, make tech research speed a bit faster. And the general just died. Correct. Bogdo has an electricity shortage. What's going on? Ah. Preferred setting, please and thank you. I'll do one construction now rather than later, because this is fairly necessary. Oh, it's this. Yeah, I'm not surprised that it's this. Okay, so at least Senegal is capitulated. Really want to naval invade, but I'm not sure if I am capable of actually doing that. Okay, so what's their capital? South Carolina? Yep. Why is the Navy with 43 ships? Oh. Someone's been constructing ships. Okay, let's not do the construction. Tone it down a bit. I'm not sure if I can fully afford that. Scout modern cruiser, modern battleship. Oh yeah, that can't be fought. I would lose way too many ships trying to do that. Retreat, try something else. Like this I can fight. Probably. My stats are kind of awful. So who's losing? I think India might win this one. It depends on how morale recovers. Oh my... What? Okay, there's two separate naval invasions here. I need to deal with both. Wait, no. Okay, I do overproduce somewhat on paper. Outer Houseland has plenty of people, as do Romeo. I can start using the university's business. Oh. Oh yeah, there's a lot of use of this. A lot of use of this. There we go. Modern shipbuilding, plus 20% naval defense. That will help significantly with stuff like this. Two options. The person in foreign affairs has become extremely incompetent. Yep. Well, it's fine for the moment. Minus 90% mortality of laborers and machinists. That'll probably will cause some population growth no matter what. I'm not entirely sure why I picked that path specifically. Sure. Go to here. I'm trying my best, okay? Ooh, yeah. How's my own war support looking? Reasonably high. I'm gonna see if I can naval invade. Just one more. Ship is preventing it. They gave up. Okay. By the way, that's unlikely to work well, but... Why are the United States specifically sent troops to deal with this? Okay, so one thing I also wanted to check was media industries. Of course, I could always improve production methods. But I don't want to cause an influx of unemployed people, because there's a lot of people employed here, and I would need to go down to here. Which would turn the employment quantity from 4,000 people to 2,000 people per level. Sure, that would dramatically increase efficiency, because now I can do broadcasting communication in order to also produce entertainment. But I think the publishing... Okay, I don't actually need more. A cursory look does tell me that the publishing industry is doing just fine. I want to see how this naval invasion is going. When are we going to start? There we go. I wonder how horribly wrong this might go. Okay, yeah, it looks like India's starting to lose. Yep. Okay. What can I say? My offensive abilities are ludicrous. Like, I'm uncertain. I might actually win this. They have really good defense. I wonder how exactly they did this. Advanced mechanized infantry. Yeah, that would explain that. Lots of tech. Yeah, okay. At a level that I can't actually replicate myself because I still don't have processors. There is, after all, a reason why I'm trying to get through as much of the tier 6 tech as I can. Otherwise, I run into actual serious problems because I'd much rather be able to produce things myself than rely on the global market to supply my needs. Why is there a diplomatic clade between Brazil and Sri Lanka? Oh. Naval invasion. Oh, that's just my involvement in what? Da na 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 da da. Okay, I don't need to look at publishing. Okay, definitely not paper. Maybe the publishing industry, but definitely not paper. Still like to increase the amount of glass produced, though. And more aluminum production is necessary from the looks of it. I should start an aluminum alloy plant somewhere with a respectable amount of available labor, like here. You will also be doing aluminum alloys. Number 5 producer worldwide of natural gas. I stand no chance of catching up to the US. The US just has way too much natural gas produced for me to even think about it. Explosives are, for some reason, getting more expensive. Aqua farm systems. That's tier 7 tech? Tier 8, oh. So you already salination is tier 7. But allows the ports to actually be really useful instead of only somewhat useful. Oh, okay, so I can't do any of this publishing stuff if it's... Never mind. I wasn't aware. This is the same, but extra plastic and water. Go for it. The fact that it's already this massive is funny. I consistently find it hilarious how insanely effective that can be. Anyway, the extra university building throughput's going to be very helpful. As well as the increase to tech spread, which means it actually becomes reasonable to, well, build that many universities. Because because for every unused innovation, so for every 5 unused innovation, tech spread gets +1 innovation for each category. So it's 60% efficiency. That plus 75% is already enough to increase it beyond. Oh, that plus 66%? How much is it? Plus 33%. Well, but I'm also potentially getting buffs in society tech. I'm not sure where though. Does social democracy improve? No. International travel would for everything, but, well, the obvious. I'm getting antibiotics. It's going to go straight for that. I certainly hope not. Because at that point I can really focus on social tech because then I have nothing to lose. Social democracy doesn't really give me anything else that I really want, though. That one is neo-feminism. Which is very, very far away. Yeah, I think I need to capitulate at this point. I can't handle the war much longer. My war support is negative, so... It was fun while it lasted. Now I have to handle peacetime dealings. Like increasing the amount of radios produced. That would be smart. Nah, I'm not interested. I have to recover from the latest war, thank you very much. What, they didn't lower? The truce is almost certainly not over, is it? Why am I looking at this? Oh yeah, right, because it's a syndicalist dictatorship. 22 months, okay. Wonder how that affects liberty desire. Nothing. Great, that was actually kind of pointless. Okay. Senegalese rivalry declared. Great, Senegal's American now. Welcome, welcome from Oman. Hey, Oman's independent. It's got a piece from Portugal. Okay, there's so much demand for radios. So much demand I can build a lot of them and it won't even put much of a dent. So I probably should start building those. Yeah, I can turn off automation here. It's no longer required. The state has enough populace to do whatever it needs to do. And why am I on ceramics? For doing any luxuries, go for uranium glass. I have to check how much of this is produced locally and how much is trade center. Almost none of it. Okay, so there's no real need for that. Wow, there's still a lack of people in this state. Hopefully that can convince some more people to come in. Because it would be greatly appreciated. There, I can start using uranium and nuclear for energy production. That should generate much less in the way of pollution. Oh, yes. Of course, it does require more specialization, but that's fine. There we go. Fast food. Let me just greatly increase the amount of throughput the livestock gets me, and ultra-processed food. And upgrade to beverages and cola for here. Ooh, and it produces wine too. Lovely. I no longer need the vineyards anymore, since I can produce the wine without it. But I still need massive quantities of meat. What's porcelain production doing? Still could use a lot more porcelain production. And I'm low on batteries too. There, that should resolve the issue for a long, long time. Not that much. Yeah. That should be reasonable for... Oh, yes. At least within that state. Plus, if need be, if I do need more uranium, I can always upgrade the mines. And I will start exporting most of the stuff anyway. Most of the stuff is exported, so... Oh. That's the mid-progressive ideologies. Should be easier to pass more progressive things. Especially since the communists are now extreme progressist, as are the unions. Social Democrats need a bit longer. They're still very not into it. But don't you worry, they will get with the program eventually. Though that requires the late ones, which I don't know. What's neoliberalism? Oh, the headphones are about out. Okay. Neoliberal progressist. Oh boy. The neoliberal progressists are... yeah. They're odd. I don't like them. Of course, the setup does follow historical trends, but history isn't a perfect thing. Like, well... Europe is stuck in authoritarian trends. No one has universal suffrage. Okay, except for Ireland, maybe. I can afford a lot of construction, as can the investment pool. Of course, the reasonable thing to do is build. And hope the economy handles it. I mean, the game is slowing down, so it's easier to keep on top of it. Compared to what this amount would mean early game? Hui, that would be awful. Oh, jeez. Ha! No one wants to help them except for East Africa and Canada. What happened to my UK? Oh, domineering. The Brits have massive loads. Alright, I think I can handle that. Canada, I can probably handle. Yeah, definitely. East Africa is a cinch to deal with. In fact, East Africa would be easier to deal with on their own. Yeah, it depends on what's here. Bauxite, advanced ores is not important, but common ores? Ooh. Also logging camps, rubber, fishing wars. Compared to Kenya, Kenya doesn't actually have all that much. Then again, there is this massive coffee plantation which could fuel my own economy's addiction towards it. That would need even more infamy though. What's spreading now? Well, I have a bit of time to see, but it does mean I can finally update the pharmaceutical industry's production method. Sadly, that means it's going to use oil. But pharmaceuticals are so expensive, I think that's reasonable. And I figure because of how I can never keep up with demand, I think it would be fine if I were to just convert everything straight to it. Pharmaceutical industries from the bottom. There they are. Go to antibiotics. I'm sure nothing will go wrong here. Ignore the oil. I'm sure it's actually not that bad. Okay, it's pretty bad, but it's not that bad. Yeah, pharmaceuticals are still kind of cheap. Are now much cheaper. And then demand again spikes. Don't worry, it will be fine. It's just that I'm going to need a lot more chemicals than I currently have, and glass needs to be expanded now. I can't actually build that many levels here, there's not enough room. But here, yeah, demand for glass is high enough to justify that many levels. Where is that? East Africa sounds with Congo. They have a lot more troops than I expected. Canada signs with Congo. Joy. Is there any state that's extremely small? East Congo? Unincorporated. A lot of people siding with the Congo. They're not sending that many troops, so I might be able to manage without that much. Because I don't want to rely on that sort of thinking for too long, for obvious reasons. Okay, I've waited long enough. Stalling any longer would be really bad. That should be fine. All of my troops are already here. Most of the enemy troops are here as well, or will be here soon enough to not make a difference. Fine by me. They're defending, which is good for the most part. My advantage is in the offense by a lot. So that is my thorough preference. I certainly hope it remains that way. So it's a lot easier for me to handle that. Like this. As long as the offensive actions on the enemy side are minimal, I can handle large quantities of enemies with my own offensive actions. Although I question why there's so much in the way of... Huh? Why are there so many attacks? Bring in more troops. This might be... What is going on? How am I losing this so hard? Do I not have enough generals? Decolonization is the one that spreads. Yeah, I'm gonna have to let go of those subjects soon. If I want to annex any of them, I have to do that soon. It's probably gonna end up being Tripolitania. They're the only ones I can really 100% justify on, you know, African unification sort of idea. Top priority is to get that back. And again, the pharmaceuticals become insanely expensive. I personally can't wait until we get to synthetic pharmaceuticals, but that's genetic disease screening, which is tier 7. Social tech. And is a long, long ways away. Okay, so do I have an electrics industry? Okay, this place could really use some new construction. Yeah, it was a bit of a blunder, that battle itself. But this is a surprising win. There we go. Right, plus 10% agriculture throughput. That's going to help. Make grain more available, which is a very real problem. One of the biggest importers of grain. Which does make sense considering how much my population outstrips the ability for me to deal with things. Well, okay. Arable land. I need to recapture Ubangi Shari. You know what? I don't need all of you on that target. Set that as your own strategic objective. Maybe then we can start battles in more reasonable locations. The most important thing is to get this out of the way. If I can remove the occupation on the state, I can re-obtain it all. Okay, it's still a hostile occupation partially. There's also some level of devastation that's lowering infrastructure and throughput. But I don't think it's enough to cause any actual problems yet. That's pretty key though, yet. Oh yeah, this is an easy victory. I'm not entirely certain if the game knows how to deal with having that much advantage. Yeah, I'm certainly missing the coal that's being produced here. 4 times as much, which, yeah. Once that's done and over with, my war support should stop dropping so much. And will become much easier to handle. Congo's not having a good time, but it should be relatively easy for me to get East Africa under control. I just need the war goal. This battle will win it. Not there being too much of a problem, presumably. I'd rather not be so reliant on trade centers. But I don't need that many levels of telecoms industries. Independence on Occitania. Oh. General died. Gotta find a replacement. There it is. It's going to be a serious problem. I will not be able to keep the subjects under control. Not with that. I need to end the war soon and then get Tripolitania annexed if I want to have them. Hey, at least after that I can start focusing on society tech. Specifically getting market studies so I can start building up the throughput of so many things. Definitely want to get international travel set up though. Market studies, international travel in order to get that tech spread boost. Funded research projects is also going to be really helpful. And it's good that that's spreading because that means even more tech spread, base tech spread, to the point where it is equivalent in efficiency. Okay, I'm finally on track to winning the war. This is a different battle, an entirely different one. I still don't know why it likes to do tiny quantity of troops. There's nothing I can do about that. Again, most of the stuff is traded, sold. If I want to be more efficient, I'm going to need to use diesel pump. It's dynamite that's really good, though. The diesel pump's annoying. But 10 explosives for 15 advanced ores, considering the base price of advanced 4s is 80? Yeah, that's where it becomes far more efficient. Oh, that's from East Africa. Here's my fleet, which does not have a manpower problem. Leave. Okay, so Kenya's their capital state, is it? Do have it occupied, right? Yeah, okay. That does confirm occupation, so. Start attacking in Kenya. It's going to be more difficult to get East Africa's war support down, and it's going to be more important because once the Congo's out of the war, then that return to Bangi Shari, war goal is no longer active, which means that I actually start losing war support. And simply put, it's preferable that not be true. I think it should be fine to allow the auto queue to handle things for a while, especially considering the number. Yeah, I may have overbuilt these somewhat, but only somewhat. It's not that many. Oh, it also gives me an electric fuel pump. Yes. Let me put that on the iron mines because, oh my. Is it absolutely necessary? It should also be a good idea to put it on the, yeah. Sulfur, iron, maybe lead. I need to double check the lead numbers. Those are the ones that I definitely need to turn that on for. How's lead looking? Okay, yeah. I probably should do it from here. Copper's another one that's... well, okay, sure. Yeah, that's reasonable. Bauxite's a little bit more difficult. I haven't exploited in full, which is why not all of them are... Actually, I should just want that back to... which is why I'm using condensing engine pump. If I haven't fully exploded it yet, yeah. If I have and I'm definitely starting to run low. It does look like I'm not at that point yet. I have fully exploited every bit of common ores that I do have, but I haven't swapped over to diesel pump yet, which I will. It does look like I should swap that over as well. Coal, I'm gonna wait a minute on. Oh, there is a Bangi Shari having a massive amount of... Okay, maybe not that many. Coal is going to be tricky because I need to see how the Bangi Shari mines affect it. It's going to take some time for the goods shortage to fade completely. Especially considering the problems that the power plants have. I think I should swap to, yeah, start using nuclear fuel. The biggest problem is the water shortage. What's funny is that this fight is still ongoing. Despite it all. Yes, this is a battle where I'm obviously winning. Despite being outnumbered 3-1 initially. The odds are now better than 2-1. Still outnumbering me. I do wonder when the next election is. Okay. In 82 December. There's plenty of time to promote socialist values. And beef up interest in the, well, communist, anarchist, syndicalists. They're the ones that get hit by that. And it's great. Fact is that the number of battles that they're losing is increasing dramatically. That's where they're getting all that war support reduction. It was crazy at the start, but I've gotten things to work again, so I'm happy about it. Plus all the occupation here is gone too, so. Transportation issues resolved, mostly. There's definitely some level of problem from the infrastructure. I should have 100 more? Okay, maybe I do need to build more railway levels. Never mind, the auto queue is getting it for me. Eventually, probably. Purchase commissions. Oh boy. Oh, and the fascists are the largest interest group in China. That is scary. There's modern ammunition. Greatly reducing my own kill rate. Lovely. Yeah, I need to produce more petrochemicals. Well, actually, synthetic rubber, to be precise. Here's another good spot to do that. They're pretty close to accepting, so I just need a few months. Not even a few months. A month should be enough easily. And by the way, the Congolese conquer is for East Africa's little piece of Congo, which is this unincorporated state with zero development. And 250 people that don't even have a single piece of arable land. At the very least, I can build a bauxite mine to house them. In order to deal with that, at least temporarily. Just a little bit longer, and then the Congo will submit to the peace deal. Incorporate and incorporate. We do not need chainsaws. Doubt road transportation is necessary here. There we go. That's this state handled with the production methods. Now to do a bit of nationalization. It's just the stuff I'm willing to pay compensation for. And the rest, yep. Thank you. Modern tools. Yet expert is starting to become faster than director of research. Much, much faster. I need to make a decision soon. Do I want to annex Tripolitania? They have a lot of oil that can be exploited, as well as some fishing reserves. Oil and natural gas. That's pretty much all they have, though. And potentially water stuff. Because they have vineyards, but wine is... Yeah, wine is not exactly a heavily produced thing. Heavily required thing. As well as the minimal industries here. I'm sure I could turn these states to something useful. Extremely useful. Or I can just leave North Africa alone. I mean, there are Tuaregs here. West African heritage. Which would give me these desert regions. No problem. It's just that Libya is going to take a long time to integrate. Because it's just Maghrebi and Bedouin cultures. The full 20-year integration time. These will only take 5 years because Tuaregs. Technically Teta. What are Teta doing up here? They're Central African. Probably unimportant. Either way, I think I've gone on long enough. I've managed to war against the Congo and East Africa without issues. I'm going after Niger eventually, but I think I'm not sure. This is something I'm going to need to think on and, you know, take a day to contemplate. So we'll go to war, but who should I annex and in what fashion? I've got great reasons to go after Tripolitania. Nedged? Well, I mean, it's odd, but I could say, I mean, maybe, but it's pushing it. It's fairly disconnected, so. But I might as well grant independence to these protectorates. No reason to keep them around. Anyway, because I did just research decolonization, that was not intentional on my part, it just happened. Because tech spread. I have been dumping a lot of research points into tech spread. Yeah. Unspent literacy plus 116, and plus 66%. Due to the fact that I have a public universities enacted and a tech that gives plus 33%, I don't know where exactly it is. Is it international organizations? Yeah. It is now equally efficient, or almost equally efficient, because 66% isn't quite 2/3. It's close, but not quite. So it's almost equal efficiency to produce innovation for direct use as it is to produce it for tech spread, which is why I've been building quite a few universities in order to make it so that I can get through tech much faster. Because I know for a fact that someone is probably in a tier 8 technology by now in all categories. I have no way to 100% know for sure because of multiple reasons. Advanced composite paper. Laser, tier 7 tech. Okay, that's not something I can use. Wait a second. Fast fashion. Globalization, tier 8 social tech. That requires transnational activism. Yeah. We're on tier 8 tech. Internet data reporting, internet is tier 9. In society tech. Yeah, it's right here. Jeez. Yeah, people are on tier 9 already. I need to catch up. Sure, military isn't that big of a deal because I can take advantage of the fact that the AI doesn't use mobilization options effectively. At least not the new ones introduced by Tech and Res. So that's an advantage that I've been using and abusing. As hard as I can. I also have this tiny, tiny little piece of East Congo. It's tiny. So small that it doesn't actually have arable land. But I'm trying to get the people set up properly. There's not very many people here. Which is why I'm trying to set things up. It doesn't even have any arable land, so a small bauxite mine should be enough to get things going. I'm trying to make it efficient. Of course, I could also set up a renewable energy plant eventually, but not renewable, geothermal plant. At least now I can see what this looks like. Oh. Hand assembly closed loop system. Wow, it employs 9,000 people per level. Like this I can see the use. Considering the costs, the amount of electricity produced is ludicrous. Sadly, you can only build those in areas with volcanoes. literal volcanoes. The state modifier. Oh well. I'm pretty sure I've gone on long enough. Yeah. China is sadly no longer socialist. India still is. I think it was through a regime change war goal. Actually, I'm pretty certain it was. Also, in the last elections, the anarchists somehow got more votes than the Communist Party. Weird, huh? So they actually have more clout from votes than the entire combined Communist Party. It's just that the Communists have a very large number of positive multipliers to their power. That's why they have so much political strength. The anarcho-syndicalists have some level of it, but it's not nearly enough. And in theory, I could push them out of the government, the Communist Party, which would reshuffle the cabinet. But I like having foreign affairs set to where I can actually attack things with aggressive war goals, which will require flexible or jingoism. And there's no way I'm going to be able to move to ultra jingoism, which would be a really, really bad idea. Plus 20% mortality in non-homeland states. Not in the homeland of any of your primary cultures. There's way too many negatives with this. But all the other options are not good. In the slightest. Oh well. I'll work my way slowly through the European settler colonial countries. Even if all of them turn socialist, or some of them. I don't know why they keep turning socialist. I think South Africa's an exception. Yeah, they're still capitalist. And Transvaal and Orange are still here. Anyway, I've gone on long enough. I'll see you again next time. Till then, bye.